What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Have More Than Money. Today, Jared and I are going to be joined by a very special guest, our very first student, and today I would call him our first success student, our good friend Pete Zanakis. Pete has started working with Jared and I around 6 months ago, and now his store averages about 70K in sales, and just in 6 short months. Pete.
Yeah, man, it's definitely been crazy. I mean, I've only had this store for, I started about a year ago working on it. Only ran ads about starting 6 months ago. But last month broke, first 70, I think I did 72,000 or 73,000, my first 70,000 month. But hopefully, it's only up from here. So definitely want to shout you guys out. Thank you guys.
And Pete, what would you say well, I know everyone loves to hear the sales numbers, but what do you think the profit numbers are like on a $72,000 month?
The lowest 10%. Okay. The lowest. Yeah, so I would say it's more closer to 15%, but it's probably anywhere between 10 to 20%, but the lowest 10% by far.
Yeah. So typically, suppliers will give us margins of anywhere from 20 to 35%. And then you factor in the Google ad spend, and like Pete said, typically for our stores, it at least 10%, but typically more around like 15%.
Right. After overhead and stuff like that. Yep.
Yeah. So Pete, why don't you just tell everyone about like your story? Was this your first online business?
Right. So it definitely wasn't. I started about 2 years ago. I was doing that AliExpress nonsense, dropshipping, if you want to even call it that. I did like 5K in a month or two sales, which is like, some people might think it's a lot. Some people might think it's a little for like selling knickknacks and garbage. But 200 orders, you'd think you'd be impressed. But when your bank account's actually going down as opposed to up, you're not impressed,
Yeah.
You're just wondering where all the cash is going. But
yeah. So how long did you do that low ticket for?
I did it for like maybe 8 months, maybe a little more than 8 months. I mean, it was definitely a bunch of nonsense. By the time I learned the business and stuff like that, it was a few months in, and then I was just running ads, not making profits, selling stuff, and it was just a mess. It was not fun.
It's funny that you mentioned the losing money part, because I know when me and Mike did our low ticket business, it was a very, very similar scenario. I remember we did, I think, like $4,000 or $5,000 in sales, and I think the profit was negative $1,500.
Right. Yeah, same. I mean, doing 5K in sales and just not making a profit is just like, that's the thing. It wasn't even a lot to begin with, but losing money was not the way to do it, And so that's why I knew how to give that stuff up quickly.
It's crazy because, from my experience, I think I've known Pete for around, 2 or 3 years now. And I can tell you firsthand that seeing him do the AliExpress just like we did, and now doing the high tickets, that Pete's a very hard worker. He works harder than I would say most people, because, that's just he has a strong work ethic. And so when someone who works hard still fails in a business, I think it's kind of a telltale sign. Pete, what was the main issue that you saw with low ticket?
It definitely, I was definitely putting in the work. I was looking through AliExpress, digging for, gems, as they would call. I was making videos day in, day out, just editing myself. I even considered hiring somebody, but, that would have ate out the profit, the measly profits even more. So I was like, let me just do the work myself. The truth is, it's almost impossible to turn a profit. By the time you make a conversion on Facebook ads, you already spent the entire margin,
Yeah.
Even if the margin was 50%, at $10-$20, it's like, that's how much it cost me to make the sale. I'm sure there are some techniques where people know how to turn the profit, but like, I don't know. I just thought that after 200 orders, having to deal with customers and all that just wasn't worth my time anymore. So, that was definitely the biggest issue, is turning that profit.
What about like making, like you have to make videos for every single product you test?
Oh, dude. Making even 2 to 3 videos, changing the copy, thinking you have a winner, but you don't, and then it just suddenly dies. That stuff is it's painstaking. It's soul crushing. It took time. I just, not really for me either. So, some people might enjoy it, but
I actually, I don't know if you care, but would you mind honestly sharing like your fake winner with AliExpress? Because I remember the exact product it was.
You want to see it? Yeah, why not?
Yeah, no, And it was a funny product, and it was cute. Like I said, I remember doing it, and I remember.
I really thought I had something, and then I sold it. That particular product, I think I sold around 200 times. It was probably maybe $30. I upsold it, maybe like selling 2 or 3 at a time. But like I said, 50% margin, and still I just couldn't profit off it. But I could go ahead and show you.
That's the thing, guys. Like we don't bash AliExpress because of any reason other than the fact that like we've done thousands of dollars in sales in AliExpress, and we saw the route that it took you, and it really isn't the right way, because the more you do in sales, the more money you lose.
Yeah, I actually found a picture. This is from April 10th, 2019. This was like a good day of AliExpress.
Let's see that. $177.
10 orders. $177. 10 orders.
That's mind blowing.
Thought I had something going there. Yeah.
And Pete, you used the word before. You said it was like the process was soul crushing. Yeah. And I think I can definitely relate to that, is because you'll spend hours of your day editing different clips and making the perfect video. You'll spend another hour creating the perfect product page, so you think, and then some more time building the actual ad copy. And when you put that much effort into something, to only test it for 3 or 4 days and see that it wasn't a winner, I think the repeat process of doing all of that and still winding up with no profitability, like you said, I think the best way to put it is it's soul crushing.
Yeah, exactly. I could actually show
and not to cut you off before you go with that thought, Pete, I just wanted to show you guys today's sales on one of me and Mike's stores. So look at this. We have 4 sales for $8,000. I mean, how about you compare that to Pete's 10 sales to $170?
Right.
We have 4 sales for, I can't do the math how many more times that is than 177, but a lot less work. Half the sales, which means half the customers, and 80 times the money.
Crazy. But this was actually the winner, which you mentioned before.
Let's see this. Wait, hold on. You can't see it yet.
There
it is. There it is.
The little bunny.
The bunny backpack.
But I mean, like I said, I thought I had something going. Little did I know,
If you guys want to lose a couple of dollars or a couple $100, get that bunny backpack. You'll make some sales. Feel really good.
But couple $1,000.
Go test it. Yeah, go run an ad to the bunny backpack. You'll make sales.
This was actually my total stats too. I found the picture. Look,
nice. Let's see this.
Almost 5,100 in sales.
Hold on.
Sorry, hold on.
There we go. Yep.
Almost 5,100 in sales. From February to March. I mean.
So that was February to March.
That's February to May, I think.
February to May.
Oh,
yeah.
Sorry, February to May. Yep.
So, and why don't you show your sales right now on your high ticket store?
Yeah,
either
how about I do that?
Either your total sales.
That was over a year ago. Now this is today.
This is what can show what a year could do for you once you change your strategy.
Today. Can you
4
see that?
sales, 6. So today he's done better than his whole low ticket store.
Can you see that? Yeah, just today.
On only 4 sales.
That's insane. And so what do you think the margin on that 6K is?
Profit.
Oh, today it's probably easily $600 to $1,000 profit.
At least.
Not negative.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, so let's pivot a little bit. I think everyone gets the point of. I think that one screenshot says enough. That today's sales did more in 6 months of AliExpress dropshipping. Let's pivot a little bit more now to high ticket. So Pete, what is your favorite part about the high ticket model?
Well, I mean, other than actually making money, I've heard a year ago, I thought to myself, maybe I could actually do something with this low ticket thing, but I couldn't. And now it's like something that actually makes you money. It's scalable. You know what I'm saying? Like now we could actually work at it. We could keep putting more into the ads. We keep finding things that work, as opposed to, like I told you, that soul-crushing work where you're just endlessly looking for something that might work or might not, and even if it does work, it doesn't even make you money. It's like, that's really the biggest thing for me, not having my time wasted, Although I did learn a lot, but I wasn't making money, so that wasn't really, although money isn't always my goal, I wanted to build something sustainable. It wasn't that either, Like high ticket has become sustainable for the most part. I haven't been negative at all every month. The sales numbers kind of keep going up too, so. Yeah.
No, I mean,
that's awesome stuff. And I think, you really hit it on the head. Money isn't the ultimate goal. And I think all three of us can agree that, yes, having more money is nice, but it's more so about what the money brings. And I think freedom should be the ultimate goal for any entrepreneur. And, the three of us were able to find that freedom through high ticket dropshipping. I know it's changed all of our lives in ways that we really can't even explain.
Yeah. So
yeah, for sure.
So Peter, what was it exactly that made you make the switch from low ticket to high ticket? And also, why don't you tell, I guess, the community, what course you took and how you, got to where you are, etc.
Right. So I started the low ticket. I wasn't really taking a course. I was kind of in and out of Facebook groups. I know even me and Lopez, we would compare some low ticket ideas we had at the time, way back when, like a year ago. We kind of just bounced. But like I said, I saw that, most people were not making money. I couldn't even tell who was and who wasn't making money. Obviously, that's the case a lot of the time. But the truth is, even if I asked people doing low ticket with high sales numbers what their profit was, they would tell me, it's about the data. It's not about
none of them had profit ever. None of them ever had profit.
So nobody was profiting doing this, right? So then I was just like, you know what? Maybe I should just keep trying. It eventually got to the point where I had blown, a few thousand. I remember I told you guys too, I was like, yeah, man, I'm a few thousand down. Like, should I just give this crap up? And you guys were like, honestly, dude, it's up to you, but yeah. And I was like, honestly, perfect. I'm going to do that. So then I looked into Build Assets Online. It's another high ticket dropshipping course. That's where I got started. That kind of got me on the path to building my store, knowing what was necessary, what not. And then, you guys just mentored me the rest of the way. And, I never looked back,
Yeah. And so for people who don't know, Build Assets Online, there are two guys, Mike and Joe Brusca. They're honestly two just absolutely insanely high level guys. And they're honestly the reason that Jared and I are where we are today. We like to call them our mentors ourselves. They really helped us guide us away from the low ticket, help us find low ticket. So if you guys want that A to Z, everything you need to know about high ticket dropshipping, definitely check their course out. buildassets.com, buildassetsonline.com.
Yeah.
And if you use the code more than money, you can get 2 months free mentorship from us. You'll have access to obviously the More Than Money community. Like I said, their course is awesome. It's what Pete took to get started, and I think Pete's results really reflect how valuable that course is.
Yeah, for sure.
It's what we all took, honestly, and that's those guys. Obviously, we can't speak any more highly of them, but at the end of the day, we're also here to help you guys, and we can mentor you guys. So if you do buy that course and you use the code More Than Money, I think that personally is the best recipe to success. That's a great course, and then you're gonna have great mentors, you're gonna have a great community, and you'll have everything you need.
I would agree with that for sure. Definitely getting started. Build Assets definitely showed me the ropes, showed me everything. It was a walkthrough, and the details in between. That's where you guys really helped me a lot too. So I'm definitely grateful to Joe and Mike, as well as to Mike and Jared. You guys.
Both Mikes.
Yeah.
Mike, no, absolutely. And so I'm trying to think. I did kind of want to speak about something else, Pete. I know you. When I have conversations with you, it seems like you're almost you're like a Google Ads expert at this point. You pretty much know the ins and outs, and that's what happens as you go through this model. So why don't you kind of help the listeners get a little bit more inside of how Google Ads really work?
Right. So, I don't consider myself an expert. Obviously, there's people doing way better than me, but truth of the matter is, Google as opposed to Facebook, since we were talking about AliExpress, I know it's like the Facebook, that's really where people do it. But Google is just way different because, you're not just putting garbage in front of people and just hoping that they buy it, Because realistically, what's going to happen is you're going to spend, past your margin point, and then somebody might buy it, right? Mm-hmm. As opposed to Google, where they're searching for something, and then the idea is you pay to put it in front of them, right in front of them, and then they buy it, right? It sounds pretty simple. It's not as simple, but it also is, because that's exactly how Google works.
There's nothing else to really explain it with.
You go to the Google search bar, and you just kind of search, and you find exactly what you're looking for. And that's exactly what we're doing. We're putting exactly what people are looking for right in front of them, and And
I think at the end of the day, it comes down to buyer's intent. When people are searching Google for a product and you are paying to show them that product, I mean, it's
exactly
like I said, it's pretty straightforward. Google ads can definitely be complicated. There's a lot of small nicks and crannies that, bumps in the road that people do hit. That's why we're here. Our community is there to kind of help people avoid those bumps in the road. But I think, like I said, Pete, I called you an expert. Obviously, we're still working on getting you fully scaled. Right. But I think Pete knows pretty much everything there is to know about setting up Google ads and getting to the point where, he'll be doing, right. I'm confident that he'll be doing 100K in sales within a month or two.
Yeah, we're still chasing that first 6-figure month for Pete.
Right. And like you said, it's not as simple as, just as we made it just seem. But truth be told, with a little work, you learn it once and that's it. You know exactly how it works forever. Obviously Google has its own little changes, but we're on the platform, so it's up to us to learn about those changes and keep up with the game. So
yeah, I like that you said it, because the truth is, guys, it isn't as simple as we made it seem, but at the same time it is. And a wise quote I've heard is that anyone can make something complicated, but it takes a real expert, a real genius to make that thing simple. So we're here making Google ads sound simple because it really is that simple. But obviously when it comes into actually getting down and dirty and doing it, there is going to be complications. And the best way to avoid those complications is to honestly get mentored by guys like us.
Right, exactly.
No, absolutely. That kind of runs through all the questions that I had for Pete. Jared, is there anything else?
Do I have any other questions for Pete? So, obviously he showed his sales today. I guess the last thing in regards to Pete's process and Pete's journey, and this actually started today, Pete. Why don't you discuss hiring your first employee today? Because that's a big deal. For the people listening, whether they're high level or low level, when you start making a lot of money, you have a lot of responsibility, and when you have no employees working for you, it becomes very stressful. And I know Pete's been dealing with that stress for at least 3 months now. So today's a very special day for Pete.
Yeah. So just so everybody knows, I told you guys I was doing this for I started a year ago per se, but I only was running ads for 6-7 months. So I was actually going to school all that time. So while I was trying to build this company, I was also going to school, but I was dealing with everything myself. So now that I'm done, I felt like it was time to, just to relinquish some of that burden that's on me so I could continue to grow as opposed to just kind of sustain. So I did hire somebody today. He's been working. I actually didn't realize how much I had to teach him or how much I knew myself until I had to, which is crazy because I'm kind of just scrambling just to, teach this guy everything I know so he can kind of just help me out a lot. But like I said, it's not all a walk in a pretty meadow. There's a lot of work that comes with it. Obviously, after you guys know better than me, you guys do, with the figures you guys do, how much work is actually involved in keeping your customers happy. So, yeah. And that's our goal. Our goal is to keep the customers happy. And, I truly just needed help to do that. So that's why I hired, my man's name is Junior.
Actually, there's one thing you didn't touch on. Some would say more important than keeping the customers happy. Some would say not. To me, I would say more important is being able to actually put your time into expanding the company. Right. Your company has reached a certain point where you've been doing really well for, the past 3 months or so. But obviously we all get to the point where, even when we're doing well, we're still hungry. We still want more. And when you don't have an employee, you're spending a lot of your time on low level tasks, what I would like to call, not high income tasks, not high priority tasks. And ultimately you can't grow the company. So I think Pete, I think what you don't realize is, what the future holds for you with this employee. Because I think you're going to see, a lot of your time freed up, a lot more happy customers, and the best of all is you're going to have the time to really expand the company, and hopefully we should see your sales double and triple over the next 3 to 6 months.
Yeah, right. I think that's a common misconception. I know when I hired my first employee, all of my friends, all my family who never ran a business, and obviously who have different mindsets, they thought, oh wow, that's so awesome. You have an employee. Now you're going to be able to hang out more, watch more TV, play more video games. And that's really just a poor mindset. A real business owner knows that the reason you hire employees is to, like Jared said, take care of those lower level tasks. So now Pete the only thing that's on his mind every day is expanding his company. And so, you know, you can either look at hiring an employee as an expense or as an asset. You know, we always say time is your most valuable asset, because now, although maybe he has to pay his employee whatever you're paying, I don't know, let's say $800 a month. Right. But now with his time, Pete's going to be able to use his time to make an extra $2,000 a month. Yeah. So it's not really an expense. Instead, it's an asset of $1,200 in the green.
Yeah,
exactly. Which is exactly what I was thinking about when I did it. You know, that was my goal in mind. You know, to expand. And like I told you, you know, with all the almost, I wouldn't say headaches, but with all the things that even the sales came with, it was, you know, it's a big burden. I mean, I'm sure you guys understand. Some people may not, but it's just what it is, you know. And it was hard to expand while also having that weight on my shoulders. That's why I did it. And like, you know, like Jared and Mike said, you know, that's definitely one of the most important parts about running something like this, you know.
Yeah. And with high ticket, I mean, it's really easy. Like when you have a booming high ticket business, it's so easy to see the worth, because like, I mean, obviously we've all been in the position where we missed a lot of calls because we were busy. And to have someone just on the clock from 9 to 5 taking the calls, like we all know that we're going to close more sales. And like we said, you know, when you hire someone from the Philippines like we do, and we pay, you know, $4 an hour roughly, typically if that employee closes 1 or 2 sales throughout the month, then they pay for themselves. You know, I have an employee, you know, one of my stores has become so big that I have literally 7 employees running it. And one of my employees literally closes around $100,000 a month in sales. Like I pay him around $1,000 a month. And because I mean, and he only gets paid $1,000 a month because he's loyal and he's hardworking, and you know, he's been with us for a while. He's got some raises, but I pay him $1,000 a month, and he brings back 15 to 20K profit every month. I mean, guys, a good employee will be arguably the best investment you ever make in your company.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, sure. You know, and that, like Jared said, it's about taking steps. You know, you're not going to hire an employee after your first month. You know, Pete put the work in. And I think, you know, now he's reaping the benefits of his work that, you know, he grinded 6 to 12 months ago. He was grinding every single day. And so if there are people out there listening and thinking, wow, like I can start my store and end up like Pete after a month, like that's not going to be the case. And I think Pete can really attest to that hard work that he put in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you know, it's definitely not necessarily achievable in a month unless you really know what you're doing. You know, you have to really know what you're doing. Like I'd be impressed with somebody if they did, because like I told you, you know, a year ago I was still working a job, trying to save up money, but I was still grinding, you know, I was still building my website, you know, at work, after work. And it took a while, and then eventually I made time for myself to actually, you know, just start digging, start looking for things to sell. And then eventually, you know, we got to here. I found things, I ran the ads, I did everything, I would say almost to what I had to do, and now I got where I'm at.
Yeah. And if you're watching this and you're, you know, concerned that you might not know when to hire, don't worry about, you know, when to hire an employee, etc. You really know, you know, like when your store is taking off and it's profiting a lot and you literally just can't handle the business anymore, you know it's time to hire someone. So don't worry about that aspect. And if you join our mentorship and we can help you with your store and monitor, then we can almost always tell you when it's time to hire someone. You know, Pete, I've been telling him he needed to hire someone for months, and he finally listened to me. And
yeah,
like I said, I'm very excited for him to see the next, you know, 3 to 6 months, because I mean, hopefully this employee works out. It's only his first day.
Honestly, I already feel like it's paid for itself, you know.
Yeah, exactly. It's been a great day in sales for you too, and it's his first day.
Crazy.
So just wait till you're you know, out on the beach and he sends you a message, just close this sale. Then you'll
That's
be.
what I'm saying. You know.
So.
No, absolutely.
So I think.
Sure.
Is there anything else that you want to add about your entire journey?
I mean, you know, in regards to my journey, you know, it's never ending, right? So I started this knowing that, you know, you guys are months, even years ahead of me, knowing that, you know, the longevity is there for me too. The longevity is there for anybody who starts, you know. Although it still took me a year, it could take somebody 6 months to find the success that I found. You know, if you work double the amount that I did, you will find success in half the time. But some people might even take a little longer. But I mean, you know, this is definitely a long haul type of thing. You know, the AliExpress nonsense, you know, people are just trying to cash out for like a month. They're not even starting real businesses. You know, that stuff, it's just kind of hogwash compared to what we're doing. You know, I really took it by the reins, and I said, you know what, if I'm going to start a real business, you know, let this be it. And if it's not it, it's just another, you know, it's another hurdle that I have to overcome.
Yeah. And I think you also said it perfectly, is that you didn't compare yourself to, you know, Jared and I's journeys, because at the end of the day, everyone has their own story, their own path. And so there are two types of people. There's someone that can see other people's success and feel discouraged by it and be like, wow, like put them on a pedestal and be like, I can never get there. Or there's people like Pete who could just get inspired by it. And, you know, our hope is that everyone who watches us and follows us will get that inspiration. You know, all three of us were just regular guys. You know, we weren't above average in any aspect. You know, we were probably below average when it came to school, honestly.
Yeah. Honestly,
we didn't have any special talents, any God-gifted abilities. Realistically, the only traits that we have was curiosity and ambition.
Yeah.
And, you know, when you have that, the possibilities are really endless.
Yeah, and I'd like to give one last note. You know, I again, regarding what Pete said, you know, don't ever really compare yourself to anyone else. I mean, put it this way, you know, e-commerce, you're not late on the boat. If you're thinking that it's too late to start e-commerce today, you couldn't be any further from the truth. And just to put into perspective, you know, all the guys that started e-commerce when e-commerce first became something, which was the late 90s, early 2000s, all those guys that did it and didn't quit are honestly just filthy rich right now. People like Gary Vee, or not even Ty Lopez, but any of the other people that you might look up to. Same thing with 2010. The people that started e-commerce in the late 2000s or 2010s are doing really well right now. Me and Mikey started in 2015, and now we're doing really well. And I'll tell you guys, the year obviously is 2020. The people that start e-commerce in 2020, by 2030, the ones that don't quit at least, are going to be doing very, very well. And that's how it always will be. You know, it's not about being late, because you're not late. You just have to start the up-to-date strategy. You know, in our last video, we said dropshipping was dead, because that strategy of dropshipping is dead. But, you know, in 2020, there's a new strategy. It's the one that we're teaching. And anyone that's starting it today, really, within the next 5 to 10 years, should be very wealthy. Not will be, but should be.
Yeah, right. That's perfectly said. Pete, thank you so much for joining us. I'm sure we'll be seeing more of you. I'm sure our watchers will definitely be seeing more of you.
Yeah, of course. I'm not going anywhere. So.
And guys, if you want to talk to not just me and Mike, but Pete, he's in our community. So.
Yeah, exactly. For sure. Anytime somebody wants to reach out, they could, you know. 100%.
That's why we have the community, you know, to network and to learn and just get better overall. So, you know, if you guys want the A to Z guide that Pete took for high ticket dropshipping, definitely check out buildassetsonline.com. Like I said, use the code more than money for two months free mentorship from us. And yeah, obviously, you know, if you like this video, swing us a like, subscribe. And if you guys want to see us talk about anything else high ticket dropshipping, be sure to comment below.